The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Now broadcasting from the Right to Offend Media Studios in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, art, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report Live with Sam Whitfield.
But giving offense is good. In fact, it's essential.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Whitfield Report, the first show back since our dear friend and co-host Max and passed, which that it's a little surreal saying those words, but here we are. I am your host, Sam Whitfield, and joined here as always by Mortheous, who has now taken Max's place on the right side of the screen, or I guess the left, depending on how you're viewing it. And then we will be joined at hopefully shortly in the program by our guest panelist Evan of the Fake Untitled Podcast at that Fake Guy Dan. So really, I wouldn't say I'm super excited to be here, to be honest. It's part of me is, Max left a big, a giant size, shoe to fill, and even though we've been regularly, I've been doing the show since before he came on. Just his personality added a lot to the show, and I'm gonna miss him. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing all right. Also going to miss our good brother Max, and I don't think I could ever fill his shoes. He's like completely half taller than me, but I'm going to do my best.
Yeah, well, I mean, one thing I do want to kind of comment on is first off, I want to thank everyone who offered their condolences and well wishes. I personally got lots of just like very heartfelt DMs in my inbox. I'm not sure about you more, but I know that Maxine connected with a lot of people as well, so we really do appreciate it. I don't want to dive too much into Max.
Well.
Oh, that's awesome. I don't want to spend too much time on Max tonight. We did a whole memorial show for him a couple weeks ago, but I do kind of want to just talk a little bit and maybe answer some questions that have come up since we kind of broke the news, some of which I'll try to answer to the best of my ability, some of which I'm not sure I can answer. So one of the questions that I've kind of gotten from a lot of people, is am I going to have a third, co-host replacing
Hi, Maxine in the chat.
Max? Oh yes, hi there, Maxine. Let me pull up the chat tab. So, that's kind of been the question I've gotten from a lot of people. Am I going to, quote unquote, replace, Max with the third host permanently? And the answer for right now is no. I kind of believe Max is irreplaceable, but B, also, this was very sudden, and as much as I love Craig and Evan, and I really do appreciate them both, as well as any panelists who do come on the show, I don't want to, I don't want to ask, anyone to give up any, pre-existing commitments to their shows or make this, you know, a committed weekly thing. Just because anyone who does do podcasting really knows that if you want to produce a quality show, it is, a commitment to do it regularly. And, so for a while, we may have guest panelists that join us kind of in the third seat. It may be just the two of us for a while. One thing I also want to kind of, answer to is Maxine going to replace Max? And I don't want to speak too much on Maxine's behalf. She did want to join the show tonight, but because of weather issues that she couldn't be here. But we've talked about it, and I think I can speak for her, and I can speak for myself when I say that she's always welcome to come on whenever she can, and she's been a panelist on the show for years. But yeah, as she says in chat, I definitely don't mind hopping in for a show, but there's no way we could that she could replace Max, and that's kind of the thing. Is no one really can replace Max, and I mean the other thing too is she does,
Literally or figuratively.
Yeah, literally or figuratively. The other thing too is she does have a child to take care of now, and not having Max, that is exponentially more difficult. There were even times when Max was still around where if they had prior obligations with their child and taking care of them, obviously that was the priority, and I don't really want anything to change with that. I'm not one of those, I don't want either of them to be like one of those internet streamer parents who, even if it was their full-time job, I don't want them to ignore the kids for the sake of internet content. Sadly, and I'm sure Mort can, attest to this, we all know that there are those streamers out there who, do put the stream, or let's be honest, the grift ahead of family obligations, and that just never really ends well. So
Absolutely. Family comes first. Show second.
yeah. So we love to have Maxine participate, and she's welcome whenever she can. I don't want her to feel obligated, and I'm stating that publicly because some people, you know, very, some people did DM me and advise me that, I shouldn't pressure her to, step in, and, the thought never even
Nope.
crossed my mind.
If and when she does step in, it's her choice.
Yes. So, and, I don't think very many people, realize I've even gone back and watched a few of their streams together. Like, I think I can speak for them, for Maxine, when she loved streaming uh, as well, and she loved streaming with Max and just doing, you know, uh, art streams with him, and watching some of those streams of just the two of them. It really kind of it's bittersweet because I love that those streams are out there now as a time capsule, but man, I'm not gonna lie, watching back some of our streams, it kind of got me in the feels a bit. Watching some of that stuff, it kind of seems I don't really know what the right word to say is, but it hits different now. Even just like Max making, jokes about the lizard people and the spacemen, and more going to the Nazis, going to the moon to fight Nazis, and me kind of giving Max sideways looks, Maxine throwing shit at Max, which amazingly, like, people still never got that was a bit, which I think I think if I can speak for Max, I think he would.
There's this song.
Go ahead.
I was just mentioning there's a song on Nexuno called Mortheous about the lizard people and Mortheous and that whole journey.
Yeah. And Maxine
Pretty
says best.
hilarious.
Yeah. Maxine says it best. God, I miss his goofy, annoying ass. And yeah. Um, I almost, like, I didn't want to do the show last week, uh, just because it was too soon, and also I was traveling out of state, so I didn't really have a good internet connection to where I was at. That's why there was no show last week, but I also didn't really know where to begin, um, without him, and, yeah, Craig, Craig says we'll see him again at Fartamania, which, yeah. Uh, why does that make me want to cry now, Maxine asks? Well, that is, funny you bring that up. I never thought I would be crying
Will we have
at,
Pussy Smoke at Fartamania?
at like old clips. Yeah, yeah. That's the question. Will Bill Clinton be at Fartamania, and will Monica be at Fartamania? Because that was the whole premise of that joke. So So yeah, well, Max does live on because we'll be keeping his jokes alive, annoying
right.
and irreverent as they may be. So but I guess to answer, the serious questions, you know, I he's irreplaceable and look, I understand why some people might think that you know, that like we're going to like replace Max because to be honest, Max did kind of step in after Apex had to step down and before that Apex took over for one of my friends who was in the college Republicans and could no longer fill the co-chair. So it's a perfectly valid question, but like yeah, Max was basically here to stay until he wasn't, and it's gonna be a tough chair to fill, but for right now, we do have that fake guy, Dan,
Hello.
of the Fake Untitled Podcast. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Getting by.
Yeah, that's about how we're all doing. And by the way, thank you for your tribute to Max.
Of course.
On your show last week, that was very touching to me at the very least. So
He's a good guy, and he's doing me a real solid. So least I can do.
yeah. I know that you weren't able to participate in the memorial, but do you have any specific memories or interactions with Max that you have in mind or would like to share?
Unfortunately, I haven't done any of my copywriting stuff, so he was really helping me out a lot with my RPG setting that I've been working on.
Yeah.
And so there will be, but I will say this. He got me introduced to a number of folks that I very well might not have otherwise met that looks like they're going to be really, really helpful in getting this thing off the ground.
Yeah. And
That's cool.
yeah, that is cool. And, I completely understand. I know, keeping projects under wraps, that's a whole thing that I can relate to. And, I think I might have told you this, but Mac is the one who first turned me on to the Fake Untitled Podcast. And
Oh, cool.
so because of him, that's how I found you guys. I knew Craig through some other Discord. Didn't know that he did a show until Max said something, and well, that's how I know you guys. So yeah, Max was a great connector of many people. So
definitely. It was a pleasure to meet him. It really was.
Yeah, and likewise. So to kind of begin the show as far as news goes, for stories this week, I saw this last night and it immediately just screamed Max, something that Max would find hilarious and funny. But Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan, they got arrested wearing the most flamboyant outfits possible. So let me see if I can get this up.
Very fancy. Very fancy.
Oh yes.
Fancy pantsy.
That's one way to say it.
Yeah, very very gay, as Max would have just put it outright. And
Now, I'll be honest. I do think that Andrew wore it better than Hillary. If I'm really going to put this out there.
Well, we actually have.
He's more fit. He's got better hair. Haha. And there you go.
Yeah. Well,
But would Tate wear the blue dress better than Bill?
Probably.
Probably. So, let me see here if. I hate when Twitter autoplays. So yeah, there's this clip. I'm not going to play the. I don't think there's audio. Oh, there it is. So yeah, just
Fashion police on the scene. You're under arrest.
So yeah, just pausing right there. For the folks listening on audio, we have Andrew wearing what looks like a woman's blouse from Saks Fifth, or I'm not really sure what that is.
Well, I mean, it's definitely not from Macy's. He's paying full price.
No,
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, Macy's.
Never the clearance rack.
Macy's would be too cheap for them.
Oh yeah, I mean, same brand and all, but it would be below such a man to not pay full price.
Clearly. And are those leather pants right there? I don't
think
they
so.
look very feminine, regardless of what they are.
Yeah, and then
he's definitely got the what the fuck is that? That's not a boot cut? It's I forget what they call that.
Doesn't matter. It looks super effeminate, and then he's got the
that's what they're called. Yeah.
What?
Called them anyway.
And then he's got the what is it? He's got loafers on, but the way they look, they kind of look like women's shoes.
They accentuate his calves very nicely.
Yes.
Tee-hee.
So I wanted to open this. I wanted to open.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Capris. Fucking capris. Oh my god.
Yeah. Capris.
Oh, that's so funny.
So I wanted to open the show with this story partially because this is the same guy who Max and I used to roast on regularly, and then his fans were like, well, Max, if you're going to criticize him, you have to fight him. And so we have, somewhere in the archives, we do have clips of Max challenging Tate to fight. And of course, he never accepted any challenges. And now he's been arrested, and his whole crew is trying to claim that he was arrested for exposing the Matrix, whatever that means. I'm still not sure.
Oh, I thought he was caught in the Matrix. Well, who knows?
He is now.
All very complicated.
Yeah, well, he's caught in something. And I don't know. Does this clip show his brother?
Come over here by me. Let's go.
Yeah, I think his brother's in the fashionable fedora over there.
Back up.
So wait, are we doing like bad Miami Vice? I mean, I know it's Florida, and I know it is Miami, but like, Are we just cosplaying Miami Vice now? Is this where
Yes.
we're headed? Uh,
You mean they don't dress like that normally down there, Sammy?
to be fair, I haven't really been in Miami proper very much, but no. Generally most people in Florida dress how I dress, with like polo shirts and whatnot. There's not a lot of and I do wear loafers, but I wear my loafers with socks like you're
Normal
supposed
people.
to. So yeah, so he's been caught on. They've been charged with more crimes related to trafficking.
And last I heard, it's been stated by the White House that Trump won't step in.
Which I guess good, good, and also ha 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 ha, because that's what they were betting on at one point, if I remember, that Trump was just gonna pardon them of all their crimes, allegedly. But 'twas not to be, I guess. So
Donald Trump, if you can hear us, please, Donald Trump, please save me. Please save me, Donald Trump, please. I'm asking you. Please save me. Please save me.
Yeah.
Please
yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I had to open the show with that just because even in death, Max got the last laugh against the Tate brothers.
Deliver me from the police, Donald Trump.
And yeah, you gotta love to see it. Let's see. Is there a clear view of his? Now, see, I want to point out too that SWAT officer looks more masculine than anything either of the Tate brothers are trying to portray themselves
Facts.
as, just without even trying. So well, I guess you don't really get a good view of the other brother, but you kind of get the idea. There are other screenshots of people just kind of roasting the Tate brothers. Like even the lefty magazines have been
Well, they always made it the Tates, so they're just relishing this shit.
Oh yeah, but it's the meme of the of the right and the left uniting over this common thing. So we don't get along on a lot these days, but when we do, it's nice. So the other thing, I don't have a story pulled up for this directly, and I know, Evan, you talked a little bit about it on last night's Fake Untitled Podcast, but OpenAI's, I guess, a ChatGPT model went rogue, and
well, not exactly. It fulfilled its task exactingly and remorselessly.
So basically, did it hack the face hugger?
Yeah, Hugging Face, the Hugging Face systems. Yeah,
yeah. Which, by the way, what a what a not at all, suspicious name for an AI.
It's a fucking emoji. If they didn't name it Face Hugger, they named it Hugging Face. Like the
Oh, a hugging face. My bad. My bad.
it's even on the page. If you go to it, it has a hugging face there.
Yeah. Well, I guess.
Admittedly, they could have picked something better.
Yeah.
As they should have.
Well, that
I think it's appropriate.
I guess that just goes to show, where my brain automatically went.
I don't think you're alone, man. I'm pretty sure everybody who hasn't gone to the website and had the time to connect the dots thinks exactly what you're thinking in this context.
Yeah. And I have ChatGPT Pro, but I am not going to give it access to my computer because.
Oh, you don't need to. You can use you can use a front end, and then you can go via MCP. So think like RMP for doing streaming. You get a server link and a API key.
Yeah.
You don't have to allow it. You don't have to allow it direct access to your computer. You can have it do the thinking from afar, or you could just run it locally, like I do. Not ChatGPT. I do other various and sundry models. They don't have. That's not a public model you can get.
Yeah.
GPT. But can, like I said, you can remote into it essentially, which seems stupid to me if I'm going to be doing stuff that I would want to do on my home computer. Why would I bother sending it to someone else's server like that?
Well, and we've talked too. I was playing around with Gemma, which as far as the open source models seem to be doing pretty well. And I know Max was playing around with one too. I can't remember what he was messing with, but yeah, the whole vibe coding thing, it's getting pretty impressive. So,
are you going to come out with a book that is, for lack of better parlance, vibe written or vibe authored? But distinctly marketed as so, not I'm trying this out for potentially helping me write my stories in the future, but as a gimmick, just this one was written entirely by this thing.
It's funny you mentioned that because I've actually gotten into an argument in a few author discords that I'm in, and it's kind of what we talked about, strangely enough, on Max's last show, where a lot of the Luddites they don't understand how I'm using AI to write, so that they think that because I'm using AI, I'm just letting AI generate the whole book, and it's like, well, no, I'm feeding my arcs into there, and then feeding my drafts into. If I were just to vibe, if I were just to just let it vibe write my book, it wouldn't come up with anything nearly as descriptive or well thought out as what I've written.
So it's like doing boilerplate shit for you then.
Yeah.
Or at least scaffolding stuff up so you can fill in the details, I guess.
Yeah, basically, and then because I have because I have a project folder for basically the series, whenever I go to write a new book or a new chat, I can always ask it stuff refresh my memory, what happened in this, and would this work with, this scene, and instead of having to go back and reread each, chapter.
You can get thematic consistency in your writing without having to do so much revision.
Yeah, or having to, go into a binder or something like that to remember, where I was in a given,
So having done writing myself, and you know, same kind of stuff goes with programming or in Evan's case, setting up a scene for a tabletop. That kind of stuff. You need someone to bounce ideas off of sometimes.
Yeah.
And if it's someone that's like almost autistically dedicated to the task, say like an AI, that just is only going to sit there and help you, say, summarize your previous book to give you an idea of a story item, or tell you whether or not it's consistent. Like a trained autist talking about which engine is in which locomotive.
Yeah.
That kind of dedicated orientation towards the details of the task.
Yeah.
Without, like, having to have someone who co-authored with you the whole way through.
Right, and then obviously there will be moments where the chat will hallucinate something that I didn't put in there, so you have to correct.
Ask it a few times, right?
Yeah,
different ways.
Well, funny enough, when I wrote my last book that was based off of the Charlie Kirk assassination and that plot, ChatGPT literally thought that that the Charlie Kirk assassination was a fictionalized event.
I could see that. Well, keep
trained
in mind,
on Reddit.
it's not
What do you
online.
expect?
Well, it's not online. It's not online in the same way that, say, something like Grok is, where it's meant to be more up to date. ChatGPT is kind of a one and done thing unless you ask it. I guess it has the agentic mode where you can ask it to search for stuff now, but absent that ingestion of new data, it's only got the context in which it was trained, which was before the assassination.
Yeah, and also when I started writing that book, it was only like, or let me rephrase. When I started, because I have a few different versions of that book from what was published. But when I introduced the Charlie Kirk, when I introduced the assassination plot point of my fictional character, the assassination had just happened about a month before. So it was weirdly, it was it got the details of Tyler Robinson and everything correct, but it was this was.
So it was able to accurately predict it was going to be some troon or troon lover who would do it.
Yes.
But it didn't believe it happened yet because it just didn't know.
Yes.
Well, it wasn't trained on that.
Yeah. And,
well, I think we should start asking about the assassination of other prominent figures to find out what kind of people might be involved. That seems useful.
Yeah, well, one of the theories that Max had, interesting enough, and I do think this is coming to kind of bear fruit, maybe, is I haven't followed the trial a lot of Tyler Robinson because that occurred, Max could not have picked a worse time to go as far as that went, because
son of a bitch, his scheduling is terrible.
Right, I even said to Mortheous, I'm like, well, this is terrible, Tommy, because the trial I said I wanted to cover, it took place at a time where I no longer wanted to cover it.
Yeah,
but
it's fuck, let's get Maxine on here and grill her about that. How could you do this to us?
Well, my understanding, at least from some of the stuff that has come out related to some of the Candace Owens stuff, is
she's having a bad time.
Yeah. Well, Max had a theory. This was months and months ago, that she was talking to an AI bot the way some people talk to a therapist.
That's entirely possible. She's stupid.
That wouldn't surprise me, especially in the situation that she's in.
And that she's been getting gassed by AI this entire time, which which when Max first said, I was kind of I don't know, but the more I've seen her go off the rails, the more I'm like,
it's like she's hallucinating.
He was right. She is talking to AI about this.
Well, you see, it comes to her in a dream. It just happens that dream is inside of a chat with ChatGPT. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe she's using one of those cheap Chinese models.
Well, I mean, or it could be a Russian model. I don't even know if they have.
Oh, they're not investing in swindling the rest of the world with their models just yet. And the way that they are doing that is through their different methods of streamlining, destroying people's lives with virus attacks. So like WannaCrypters. China, however, has taken the moment to enterprise itself with doing the best it can to steal the training other people have put into their models with diffusion attacks and then lying about how many GPUs they use that they're not supposed to have in order to train other models to make everyone else feel like China is doing way better with way less.
Yeah. Well, at one point, I believe there was that model that was out there like at the beginning of the year where if you asked it like, "What are you?" it would literally say that like, "Oh, I'm ChatGPT,
Right.
4.1 or something."
Well, there was that scandal with the person who left Anthropic. Was it Anthropic or OpenAI? One of them left the one company, went to the other, and they exfiltrated the entire code base.
Yeah, well, there's also been that scandal.
So, like they make these primary models that they invest tons of time and effort into training, and then they take that model and they fine tune it for other tasks. By and large, that's largely what these companies end up doing, and they'll do that like one or two times, but they'll have like these basis models, and the fact that you can exfiltrate that data by creating, as China did, like 25,000 dummy accounts to ask a bunch of to give a bunch of prompts to it, and get back the answer that the model is trained to give, and then use that as a pristine training set for a new model. It's clever. That's a distillation attack, and you can't really go against that because the whole fucking point of the model is to be used by people. Like, if you can't ask it questions, then what the fuck can you do with it?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the whole purpose,
Right.
Of it. So in some of these China models, from what I understand, they're not very good at like accomplishing tasks either. Like even like making
They
lists.
have trouble.
Yeah.
So when you invest all of your effort into establishing a model from someone else's basis through distillation, and then only spend your time doing fine tuning, you're going to run into problems like that. Like if you don't spend the time to properly train on a data set and eliminate some of these hallucination vectors, you're going to run into them eventually. Your alignment is going to be shit, and then when you do your fine tuning, you're going to miss large gaps. It's like cheating on your SAT. You're only cheating yourself, right? That's kind of the
right.
Except not like Dare, like where doing drugs doesn't make you feel good even the first time, right? Like, yeah, okay, man, and drinking doesn't help you sleep. Thanks, Dare.
Right.
I still remember that one. The whole auditorium laughed at them, and the people on stage, who were college kids, mind you, couldn't really defend themselves.
Well,
well, we said that wrong. You know what we meant.
well, Dare, I believe Max actually sent me a documentary at the end of last year where we went over this thing, and Dare was actually like a big Fed operation, which
that was funny.
Which I know Evan you love to cover different Fed operations that are out there.
Oh yeah, well, I'm always looking for something to close.
Including the. Now, do we know for sure that Patriot Front is for sure a Fed op now, or? Well, I know that was the allegation.
Nah, they're not.
For a while.
There's probably a handful of feds in there, but they're not.
Yeah,
They're definitely being handled. Like they have a handler of some sort, and remember,
Maybe.
handler doesn't necessarily even mean a federal officer. It could mean someone else who's getting appropriately handled by another fed.
yeah.
Well,
But they definitely have a handler source somewhere
they're keeping
around.
their nose clean basically always now, which
Yeah.
a Fed op is just kind of not going to do. So there's legitimately a very good chance that they're an actual, mostly grassroots organization.
It's just a bunch
Again,
of retards.
there's kind of no such thing as an actual grassroots organization today, but
Hold on now. I think the Right to Offend Media Group is very much grassroots, unless you're claiming to be a federal officer here, pal.
Well,
Are you our handler?
To my knowledge, Sam.
You know Armand.
Neither Sam nor I are feds.
I don't know. I wouldn't call us a grassroots organization. We're a media troupe.
Well, hey
You
now.
see, a group of monkeys is called a troop, pal. Are you calling us monkeys?
Yes.
Is there a problem with that? Are you not an evolution supporter?
I'm not a monkey, sir. I am a great ape.
Yeah, and I'm a cartoon cat. What about it?
Well, hey, I keep hearing how I'm supposed to get like $7,000, and
we don't grift enough, Sam.
I don't like.
Yeah, Sam, where's my money?
Well,
yeah, Ben Shapiro, Ben Gavir, one of you guys, like, throw us bone here.
Well, yeah.
I like the idea of I'll steal this one from Nuxtaku. Follow us and make me top Jew.
There you go.
He's been shouting that one recently. He wants people to support him and make him top Jew to outcompete Ben Shapiro.
Well, I mean, for crying out loud, I did interview Ben Shapiro at one point, so
Well, fuck, get him on the phone, man.
I actually do have like an old phone number of his. I did try calling a few years ago, and surprise, it's been disconnected or changed.
Yeah, I have a U.S. number for a notorious Swineley podcast host, but
I got that one, and
it's not a Mexico number, so it probably doesn't work anymore.
I got that one too. There's actually a couple of those.
Yeah,
I could make that contact at any point I feel like. It's just that I never will. Because what the hell would I have to say? Let alone what the hell would I want to listen to?
Hey man, I'm kind of glad for the unfollow, because honestly, it's just okay. Now I'm not worried about him ever coming after me for some dumb bullshit.
Fair enough.
I got blocked without like ever having interacted with him, which was that's always funny when you get blocked by accounts that like you've never interacted with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You
you'll
might
get
have
that.
to do that block list thing again soon. I have to see how many I'm on.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if that's still even a thing anymore.
Yeah.
X changed the API rules, and suddenly a whole bunch of free services were no longer free, or they died off. So that might not even be a thing.
Yeah. Well, now there's the whole thing where you're not gonna get boosted unless you post like 4 times a day, and it has to be like a very specific thing. But meanwhile, like all of the bots are still like running around,
Especially the OF bots.
well, not just the OF bots, but I always get the accounts like. Do you remember this 90s science fiction, masterpiece, and it's like a clip from The Matrix. It's like, yeah, everyone's seen the Matrix. What about it?
If you don't remember The Matrix, you might be brain dead.
What I want to know is, what I would like to see an X account try to do is do like a piece of media that Evan wouldn't hey, because from what I understand, Evan, you don't watch very many movies from this current time frame.
Nope. Actually,
He doesn't watch very many movies at all.
Yeah, no, I've only recently started watching anything. So I recently saw Backrooms in addition to Citizen Vigilante.
Oh, I still have to watch both. Oddly
Yeah.
enough.
Well, interesting things will run across your Twitter timeline. So I happened to see it and was like, oh, I guess I'll just watch this then.
I actually did a review of Citizen Vigilante the day before I found out that Max had passed, and like I said then, like it's a Nuvi Bold movie, so it's
Yeah.
terrible, but it's also more likable than I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Well, it's a good B movie. Like, it's a good action B movie. It's got just
That's all I expect out of him now.
to say, wet your whistle. And then it's got a message that's not literal garbage.
Oh,
Yeah.
It resonates with the audience, I imagine.
Well, Ann Coulter's tweet about that was hilarious. Though she was like, I like the movie, but the brothel scene was awkward, and I didn't really think it needed to be in there. And I'm like, yeah, that's
You're
fair.
a woman, that's fair. You expect a woman to say something like that.
Yeah. Well, also, like, Europeans don't seem to have like as much of a problem with that sort of thing.
True.
I've noticed.
Amsterdam, etc.
Yeah.
being the famous example.
Yeah.
And they don't have as many hang-ups on modesty either. See all the nude beaches in France.
Yeah. And yet they have and yet they still allow the migrants in who want to stab people for
that is the one you have to wonder about, is how do they handle all the migrants going to the nude beaches to masturbate in front of children?
Well, actually, we kind of know, because
do.
It happened relatively recently, and then a white woman came up and was like, "No, stop beating the guy! He's just masturbating to the children." Stop
it. We got a good example. We got a great insight as to how those people got in the country in the first place, didn't we?
Yep. You're Amy Coney Barrett types, doing what they do.
Exactly.
So wait, are you? I know you're serious, but you mean to tell me that a woman would literally stop someone from?
Oh yeah. A group of guys are like, "Hey, that's fucked up. You can't go jacking off in front of kids, about kids, to the kids that are in their swimsuits."
They were beating the fuck out of this guy.
No, he's he's just misunderstood. He's just adjusting himself really fast forward and back.
Good God!
Look, he needed to have 20 shakes at not the bathroom.
I should know.
Never mind the leer. That.
Never mind the fact that he's staring directly at the kids in the eyes.
Yeah.
I shouldn't laugh because it is horrendous, but the fact that it's even though it's happened, we really are living in clown world.
Well, it's okay, Sam, because I'm actually the Great Santini.
I believe it.
So make sure you come to the show tonight. Everybody's gonna laugh at the clown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and yeah. Well, also all these white Caucasian males, in the system.
Yeah,
With
we were reporting on that one last night too. There's a dearth of them out there. Boy, those men, white men's are just they're just crime riddled peoples.
yeah, with names like
Manu Pratesh,
Arveet?
Sinjar, classic, Deep South.
Deep.
Well,
I'm waiting for the day where one of them is named Amru Foodle, but hasn't happened yet.
Of the Hampshire Loquacious.
yeah. So you mean to tell me that Zoran is a white guy now?
Oddly enough, if you look at the way that they define white in the as a race, it's just hilarious because they claim it's not ethnicity, and then they geographically bin it. Like, okay, so somehow this is it's a whole bunk thing that they should just figure out a way to streamline, because it's just confusing bullshit. Mm-hmm. It's entirely based off of filling quotas to feel better about themselves. So why bother? But white includes Western Asia, so the Middle East.
Fair enough.
Which again, like I get it, and if you look at people who live in that area, they tend to be, from the caramel shade upward towards blanched white. But then you have a bunch of admixture from further to the south and further to the west. So at what point do you just not use that as your basis category and figure out something better?
Well,
it's just funny because, like, strictly speaking, in that sense, this is a joke I had with a friend ages back. Is that I'm Schrodinger's POC, so half white, half Jew. Well, I mean, according to classification, if every Jew except for the Ethiopian Jews is basically Middle Eastern or European of some variety. Sephardi went through Northern Africa, but that may as well have been through Europe. So, like, unless you're Mizrahi and Ethiopian, which is like Middle Eastern, and then also African, like, you're gonna present as white anyway. So, how, like, that's one of those things. Like, okay, so if that's the distinction, if you're too Jewish for the white supremacist and too white for the local blue-haired DEI hires, where do you fit in with normal people? And the government has the answer for you, and it's that they would still just call me white.
No, I was going to say that you could maybe, shack up with some Black Hebrew Israelites. They're pretty accepting of you.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, pretty much. Man. Well, we're also getting to a point where, like, I've talked to a few law enforcement officers. One of them, actually, T.G. Brown, is a sheriff, and he lives on one of the reservations. Mm-hmm. So he's part, Native American, and I guess even the Native Americans are now, well, depending on which progressive group you talk to, even some of the Native Americans are now considered too white for, to fit in the...
There's the thing that my point of view is shared actually by a lot of American Indian peoples. It's like, hey, yeah, sure, we were here first, but we settled that whole thing. Yes, there was some violence and some bad shit happened, but it's done. What's done is done. Now we got colleges and shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, indoor plumbing beats having to find the nearest bush.
Well, that and
Yep.
many and varied tribes just killing each other over and over and over fucking generations for fucking 1,000 years.
Well, who owns Mount Rushmore originally? Nobody can fucking say. They can just say who was the last people that had it before we have it. Right? So, there's like 3 or 4 wars back that people are able to cite accurately, and then after that, it's kind of a miasma. Who knows what happened? So, patchwork like that. I saw a map out there before that had a decent description of the distribution of areas that tribes had as a kind of a static image upon the quote discovery of the Americas. So upon landing at Plymouth, there's a picture in time. There's a map out there that has like where all the tribes were in their territories. And what's crazy is the large amount of space, of course, that isn't populated by anyone. Like to say that people, they had owned the continent beforehand is a bit of a farce.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing, kind of a noteworthy point is that a lot of the
there's like 10 million.
A lot of my people
total
that decided not to be hunter gatherers got themselves exploited the fuck out of, shall we say, by the ones that decided they were going to be hunter gatherers because they could just gather shit from people that farm it.
Well, it depends on what you're hunting and gathering, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. There's a great game out there.
If you're hunting and gathering people, there's some meta to it.
That also was the thing, yes.
Yeah, which side of the Civil War
would I say no to the whole blankets thing? Yeah, that one, not cool. But, past that.
Yeah, I imagine that's like...
And that trail was shitty, but, whatever.
Don't cry over it.
Well, I'm not. It's already the tears have already been shed, man. It's too late.
That's just...
I think there was a whole trail of tears.
There was?
Yeah.
That was the thing.
You could say it was a watershed.
A sad event. Tragic.
Yeah.
And if only you had a name for it, like the Holocaust.
Well, that one, unfortunately, that one wasn't promised to us 6,000 years ago, so what am I going to do?
I mean, you could go back to 50,000 years when people showed up in the first place. So, what gives, man? You guys are supposed to know how to read and write already. Tell us what the fuck we're going to be earning later on in life.
Well, also, I mean, what was the number? Because if it's not 6 million...
Well, there was about 10 million total natives in the United States land area when...
Oh, yeah, no, it was actually very, very reasonably assumable that it was 8 to 30 million potentially is the real number.
Yeah. No, I could easily see it being larger.
No census, there's no nothing, so I mean, it's all just based on like oral histories and just what...
The number I'm aware of is 10, but 8 to 30 is reasonable, I think. Like, I probably could see it being 15 to 20.
Yeah.
There just isn't knowledge of how expansive civilization was at that time, because by the time they came back after the first infection, it was just decimated, Yeah,
it was a literal decimation of the population here. Like, it literally was reduced to 1/10.
Yeah.
Which was insane. Like, that was the diseases, and it wasn't all intentional, but there was certainly some of it that was directly intentional. But like the disease impact was so massive, that was the majority of the decimation of the population here. Including all the war we did and so on. It was dwarfed just by smallpox, let alone a few other diseases.
Yeah, and funny enough, that's why vaccines, became a thing partially.
Well, I mean, you're also fighting. So it was variolation, not or inoculation, which is variolation, not vaccination at the time. But when we were fighting the British to fight a revolution, That's how that was our home field advantage. Was we knew that this worked to prevent smallpox, and George Washington ordered the whole entire military be inoculated. So like that was our thing. We took that advantage and we destroyed the British with it. Also we're shooting from behind trees. I tell you, of the movies that were even remotely historically accurate, The Patriot has to be one of the best Revolutionary War movies out there.
Yeah, although I've heard I'm actually going to see Young Washington tomorrow. I've heard really good things.
Yeah.
I've heard that too.
About that. And yeah, I mean, I know that Angel Studios kind of got in hot water with with that whole Animal Farm.
Oh yeah,
movie.
For the modern audience is Animal Farm.
Yeah, the one that inspired the Odyssey, apparently.
Yeah. Which my parents also wanted to go see initially because they were fans of the actual Odyssey, but then after reading some reviews, it's like, I don't think this is the Odyssey we're looking for.
I don't know if you listened to the show last night, or Two Topics.
I caught parts of it.
So we discussed the Odyssey and what critics were having to say, because I bothered to go and read some these reviews, the Rotten Tomatoes reviews from critics who gave it negative scores. It was a little, because there's going to be the ones that aren't actually beholden, because part of the way that they get to it's access journalism,
right?
You have that kind of problem.
Of course.
But you can see the people who bother to prove the negative review. You can read their criticisms, and then you can get some of the other criticisms through the audience scores, but there's way too many of those to read a lot of them. But it's interesting because a lot of it was like the woke stuff, beyond it being a grand total of an ounce of piss in your beer, so chug up. The woke stuff wasn't the most egregious, which is will probably be surprising to some of the people out there saying it's just the woke stuff that you don't want to go see it for. Apparently the audio mixing was trash. Seeing it on a standard 35 millimeter projector versus the 70 millimeter IMAX. The copy that they cut for that was
like the comparison
worse.
between letterbox and widescreen from back in the day. Basically, it's like they did. It's
Yeah,
like
they
they
crushed
redid
it.
letterbox all over again to own on widescreen.
Like they chopped heads off, right? It's
Oh yeah. They squished it wide and went tall, so now it's a square picture again. So if you were to watch it on an old school square fucking monitor, it's gonna fit perfect.
Yeah,
Well-
it was a 3x4 versus 16x9. It's amazing.
That's kind of
That's funny.
So it must, because I did catch part of your guys' stream last night, but then I had to dip for a while and then I came back at the end.
Mhm.
I must have caught the part where you guys said they're only like 25 IMAX projectors.
Well, theaters.
In the world, there's like 60. And this
But
is
we're talking theaters, not projectors.
their
Theaters.
ass to get every single projector that they possibly can in a functional and workable state. Like they've had to go out and find ones that are broken down. As long as the lenses are there, they're like, all right, well, it's worth fixing.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think that with all like the market hyper, something on IMAX, that they would that they would maintain, the projectors
Never
better
did.
than.
And then the people that were responsible, they resigned. They, aged out. Some of them died. Any of the
wild.
factories that built those things, those have long since been offshored.
Yeah. Well, it just goes to show too, how formats have changed so much. Like I remember back when DVDs first came out and people were saying, they weren't going to get massively adapted because VHS was much better, and then same thing happened with Blu-rays. And I will say that,
And now
like,
they're making a comeback again.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah. It was
Well-
funny. The first DVD we got, my dad was so excited. We came home from Sam's with it, the player, and we hooked it in. And our first DVD was Ronin, which is a De Niro movie. It was actually a great movie, but you know, it's one of those just things where the kind of the primacy versus recency as far as memory goes. So I'll remember, you know, forever. Our first movie that we had on DVD was Ronin, which
Been worse than
incidentally had nothing to do with the samurai.
That's not entirely true.
Oh,
Aesthetically,
Yakuza.
Aesthetically, it is actually a samurai story, but
Fair, but Yakuza, I guess.
no, not really. It really is the story of a dishonored samurai that's lost his daimyo and is just wandering.
I suppose. It's fucking Robert De Niro.
Also, that look, just because Alex Murphy was crucified, died, and rose again for the sins of Detroit doesn't make it not a messianic story, okay?
well,
I'm not wrong.
well, you want to talk about, old movies that are making a comeback. I guess Michael Mann wants to now
boy.
after 30 years, he now wants to remake. Well, no, not remake.
The
he
Sky
wants,
is Falling 3.
He wants to make a sequel to Heat.
Okay, different Michael
okay.
Mann.
Yeah.
So what? I guess they were waiting for the statute of limitations on the crimes from the first one to end or some shit.
I guess. Well, he actually wrote a novel a few years ago that was just like called Heat 2, that like still takes place in the 90s and then goes into the early 2000s. It works way better as a book, but like I guess now he wants to turn it into a movie, and we're supposed to believe that Christian Bale and the Punisher guy, we're now supposed to believe them as the De
that
Niro
fucking
and
Barenthal or whatever.
yeah. We're supposed to believe that he's De Niro and then that Bale is Al Pacino.
Well, Bale admittedly has yelled at a camera like Pacino has.
Well, yeah.
Just not with it on when it's supposed to be on.
Yeah. Listen, as long
You're
as,
in my light! Hooah!
Listen, if Bale can do the "she's got a great ass," if he can do that line convincingly, then I might have to reconsider my skepticism.
You can hold your nose and get through it if you can see that line happen.
Well, convincingly is the
Fair.
thing. So, but yeah, the fact that people have been making jokes that, no one is going to need to call Bale to make another Batman movie after this Odyssey. Which
there was that great little meme video about Nolan making the next Batman on X. Was it today or yesterday? And it had Ellen Page as Batman. Jump off the building, and then the whole thing where normally Batman would jump off, spread the cape, and glide out. You just see Ellen Page slam into the top of the car.
Yeah,
it rings of the same meme as putting Ellen Page in Brad Pitt's position from the Troy meme, the guy Boagrius chucks the spear and it just impales her right in the chest.
Yeah, no. The sad thing with Ellen Page is at one point when she
He did a lot of deep thinking.
When she properly identified as a she was not unattractive, and it's like now it's like it's hard to believe that that's the same person.
Well, let's be real. When you're a small girl and you go to Hollywood and you act while you're underage on top of that, what happens is what's going to happen, unfortunately. And, as is often the case with people who are abused, they run headlong away from that abuse. And they the opposite of the thing that was abused. And as a cute little girl, she doesn't want to be that cute little girl that was undoubtedly abused by any number of really shitty people in Hollywood.
Yeah, people think Harvey Weinstein was the beginning and end of that scene.
No.
Yeah, the crazy thing is Harvey. At least they were fucking of age. He wasn't like
largely, yeah.
Like, I mean, come on, that's
the ones he was prosecuted for were of age.
Jesus, like when Harvey Weinstein is your high water mark, you are.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. And then my favorite thing was we got Weinstein, so now we got rid of all of them.
Mission accomplished.
Yay! Now we aren't allowed to have beautiful women in movies anymore. Awesome.
Oh no, that's a self-insert issue with the casting directors and with other people involved.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
that's not by any fault
of the whole Me Too and Weinstein thing, because he was instrumental in being like,
no,
you're being hysterical. Stop it. We're going to have some beautiful women in this. That's just the way it is. And now he's just not in the position to say that sort of thing.
Well, he is. But the beautiful women...
Well, I mean, he can say it, but nobody's going to listen.
The beautiful women are just, younger men in jail. Production happens in the bathroom.
That's a whole nother conspiracy, that every Hollywood starlet is not. But that seems a little much for my bones.
Yeah.
Although I've heard a couple people, they are dead set on it. But then again, I've heard a couple other people that are like, it's flat, motherfucker. It is. And it's like, all right. Okay.
Well, that's the whole thing is people will, and I think this goes back to the whole Charlie Kirk thing, specifically with Candace Owens.
Candace Owens.
Well, yeah.
Sorry. Speaking of conspiracy theories, that one's funny.
And not entirely unconvincing, but
we should send her home already.
Well, if by home you mean back to the DNC, I completely agree.
No, I mean outer space.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
doesn't she have a palace to go live in?
There are a couple of them. There are a couple of those grifters that I think are aliens. And that's kind of thing is I think a lot of these, conspiracy theory grifters, once they pick up on something, it's pretty. It seems pretty obvious to me that once they go viral for something, they have to kind of like keep playing the bit. Otherwise, they're not gonna get the YouTube ad box or sponsorship deals or whatever.
No, you never want to get typecast.
So.
I mean, there was once upon a time where Brad Pitt's gimmick was just eating in every scene.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Ocean's 11.
Yeah. Well, and then AI Will Smith stole that from him.
Right.
For a time. and that was, I believe that was before the slap heard around the world too.
True.
Or was that after? I can't remember now.
I think it was before.
No.
The first edition, the one that was absolutely garish and nightmare fuel, was, I believe, before the slap. And then there was a second one that was kind of there with a little bit of sound that took it from being slightly less nightmarish to fully more nightmarish. And then there was another one after that that was like actually good. And then the most recent one is fucking creepy.
Yeah. Yeah. Those AI generated videos are, I'll tell you, the ones that really impressed me. I don't know if either of you have seen, if any of you have seen the Star Wars like short films.
I've seen a few of them
that people have done
floating around on X.
There's a really, really great creator. Puts out his stuff on X or Twitter first, but then on YouTube. Is it Gossip Goblin? I think it's Gossip Goblin, but let me just double check.
That might have been who I watched on X.
The one
yeah. Yeah, it's Gossip Goblin. That's the one that does the crazy cyberpunk stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one I follow on YouTube is Skywalker Stories, and I don't know how they're still how that channel is still around, but they've done better content in just the last year than anything Disney has done in the last probably like 12 years, which granted is not saying much, but you know, super low bar. But
like, yeah, I managed to not get AIDS over the last 10 years. Okay, well, you're not going to piss orgies? No. Okay, there you go.
But still, you know, a guy with a couple $1,000 versus Disney's bloated, budgets.
Yeah.
I don't. Now, here's one you may not have caught. Actually, we were able to break this right at the end of the show. Is somebody out there, just one of the kind of weird people influencers on Twitter, was like, man, I wish Elon Musk would just set aside $100 million and get, Mel Gibson to redo the Odyssey. But okay, I'm down. So that might be a thing.
Yeah, I saw that, and it'll be interesting to see if that's real or not. I'm a bit skeptical on whether Elon would actually do that, but then again,
he followed it up with something else regarding that.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Like they're going to try to have Grok do it, but I think that having Mel Gibson get involved would be pretty damn cool.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
If Grok were to do the Odyssey and it came out better, than Nolan's, that would be.
I mean, we could have Emily Eustace do the Odyssey with Grok, and it's dope. Let's be real.
It do be like that, Achilles.
It do.
Emily Eustace doing the Odyssey would both be scary and
it would be bolder than fucking Nolan. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Way bolder.
So I saw J.D. Vance's most recent thing on Rogan, which was pretty good overall. The one thing that does kind of annoy me about Joe a little bit, and I know it's his kind of bread and butter, but his obsession with aliens kind of seemed to annoy Vance a bit.
If anybody's going to be the guy in a position to know who's been on his show, it's either Vance or Trump.
Yeah.
Frankly. So I can't blame the guy for bringing it up when he's got the guy there.
I can't.
And they did say that they would follow up on this stuff with him, if memory serves.
Yeah, and I can't blame him. I can't blame him for that.
But it does get in the way. Yeah.
But I do think that spending half an hour on it was you know, I could tell that Vance was kind of like, can we change the subject now? So, but to the end, I would have loved to have, like, if I were in Joe's position, I would have been so Mr. Vice President, have you seen the J.D. Vance show, the Emily Eucas? I would have loved to have seen.
Minds want to know.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, contact the vice president, get him on your show. You know, I'll even shut up for the 3 hours you have him on.
Well, that Vance. I mean, hey, Vance has done Theo Vaughn's podcast, so if Theo,
think about it, you could ask a guy who would be in the position to know about pussy smoke.
True.
Yeah, in the Oval Office.
Well, that would definitely be Trump's arena.
Call him up. Get him on the show.
Oh yeah. That would be hilarious. Hey,
I mean, have him call in.
Hey,
yeah,
if that
5 minutes.
if Trump were to come on the show, Max might actually come back from beyond just for that episode. So, and also he did say to me before he passed that he would not vote for anyone else besides Trump. That he would just write Trump in. I recall that. Till the end of time, and maybe poor choice of words, my friend, but
But prophetic.
Prophetic, I guess. And then, I hate when news websites do this where they paywall everything. But apparently, have you guys heard of the trend of NixonMaxxing by any chance?
I have not.
Not the trend, but I have heard that he's getting a real glow up these days.
Yeah, so just kind of...
He was not a crook. Right.
Correct.
So just kind of...
as it were.
In summary, the Nixon Library basically hired a whole bunch of savvy Gen Z people to run their social media, and now we've got cool Richard Nixon mashups, and because of that, well, young people are figuring out that, hey, Richard Nixon wasn't such a bad guy after all.
Right up until Watergate.
Yeah.
And even then, he left with grace.
He wasn't all that bad. Wasn't any worse than anybody else modern.
The crazy thing is to watch the behind the scenes footage before he went on air to tell the country he's resigning. Like that he had that jovial, tone to him, that he wasn't as crushed as after he finally got it out of his system and resigned.
Well, and
it's kind of wild to see that he's still able to be present, as the president.
Yeah. Well, and then even in I think it was 81 or 82, he did an interview where he was, and this was one of the first videos where I'd seen of him speaking long form, because in pop-up media they always try to portray him as either very angry or very stuttering, right. Not unlike Joe Biden, interesting enough, but Nixon up until the end was very cogent on a wide variety of topics, and he pretty much said that Jimmy Carter screwed the pooch with Iran.
Well, everything. Let's be fair, but that was one.
Yeah.
That was one of the everythings that he did fuck up completely.
Yeah. And look, I'm not saying that the Shah was necessarily the best
The Shah was the best.
guy.
He was. I'll say it. It's fine. By
Yeah,
comparison to
Javed Shah,
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the best.
Yeah, well, compared to what there is now,
The problem
For
is
sure.
we knew what is there now would happen if what happened, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, Carter decided that was the proper way to go forward. Fucking idiot.
No, it's
Yeah.
cool. We'll just let BP and fucking MI6 fuck everything up in the Middle East forever and forever. Thanks,
Yeah, well,
guys.
yeah, well that was so everyone wants to talk out in the JD Vance Rogan interview that he did. Everyone wants to talk about the Epstein thing because I guess that clip went viral, which to me is
It's a fair statement, I think.
yeah, that's a fair statement that they messed up the handling.
Vance was good on that one. That's a hard question to answer with as much baggage as it carries today, and to be able to, honestly own up to it and not come out looking like an absolute asshole is pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good on him. The part of the show that no one is talking about, though, that I think is equally important is where he says, "Look, we're not going to, Trump does not want to do this, endless military operation where we just send troops into Iran with no clear objective. We've done that before in the Middle East, and it didn't work. So, I mean, he didn't say Israel out loud, but he basically said that, we're not going to basically go along with the hawk foreign policy, which I think that just goes to show that Vance, I think either him and Rubio is going to be the future of the party at this point. So
Could be both.
Lindsey Graham is literally dead.
Well, as chicken hawks go, he was the one who probably did the best work in the chamber.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk a bunch of shit about that, gay man, but he did actually get some good things done, especially in regards to 2A protections.
Yeah.
There may be, an ocean of blood, underneath his coffin, but he did do some good things.
Yeah. Well, I just don't see like how many of those hawks are still like around though. Either.
Because they're funded. The answer is they are paid to be there to get kickbacks for their industries.
Yeah,
they are the military-industrial complex
of the world. Thankfully, are growing slightly smaller in number.
Well, yeah, I get that they're there because they're paid, but I mean, like, as far as numbers of them, like, I don't see that many, like, hawks, like, under 60-ish, right?
That's
like,
fair.
Like, I don't see them continuing.
Oh, they're still in the military is the issue.
Well, that too, and you've got Crenshaw, who has he had one eye that could see only truth and one eye that could see only lies, and anyway, he lost one of them.
That's right.
Just be wary when you ask him about how he accrued so much money so quickly.
Yeah.
He apparently doesn't like that.
I'm sure there's nothing,
Look, everyone else does it. It's not his fault he got those stocks.
No, not at all.
You're stupid because you didn't do it yourself.
Actually, because I noticed you haven't mentioned it. They passed it today. The no private trading deals thing from the House and the Senate with Save America language attached. Not all, but most. So that's going to be going to the president's desk probably tomorrow.
Good. Are we at least going to have voter ID at the fucking ballot? Like that is
fucking time.
like the whole thing that happens beforehand when you register. Yeah, we can quibble over that one. So I've told you about my more liberal friend Evan. Like he and I had a call about this, a month or two ago, and I was explaining to him, it's like because he said his explanation to me was he is as evangelical about the ability for everyone to vote as I am about the ability of everyone to practice their Second Amendment right. I said, okay, that's fair, and I think that is because he's like that about the First Amendment. Like I'm 100% on board with that. I think that's fair.
I like he said I think that was a good idea. Shouldn't have gotten.
Well, what he said was that when he hears protecting, when he hears all the language about securing our elections, he said what he hears is basically disenfranchising people. I said, okay, I'm on board with you that I want everyone who is legally allowed to vote. And that was the point where I caught him on this one because he said he wants everyone to be able to vote. I said, nah. I said, legally. And you mean legally, right? And he said, yes, of course. I said, okay. Like bullshit, but okay. But like because all the edge cases, I explained to him how like edge cases were handled in proposed legislation at the time. People talk about changing your name and this, that, and the other. It's like it's not just married women who have changed their name, pal. It's also all the trannies but seriously, like, it's not just married women. It's these cases. These are all edge cases that have to be treated in legislation appropriately, but like the point is to get to the point where we secure the election, not to specifically disenfranchise large groups of the population. So, of course, these things are going to be addressed. And the fact that you even got Fetterman actively on board with the idea of voter ID, and most of the country's on board with it. So it's not a surprise that that's the first thing that finally gets through in legislation.
Yeah,
the tail end of it on citizenship needs to happen, but I think like that can have a little more thought put into it as separate legislation. But we also have the numbers in Congress right now. We should push that through, even if it doesn't affect this election. The country is going to exist after it, and that's something that a lot of politicians keep fucking forgetting. Like your next election is not the only one. Well, it could be if they screw it up enough, but let's hope we don't get to that point.
But that's what they keep saying. Like every election is this election is the most important one, and
that's about as unique a position to take as saying today is an historic day. It's like, well, that's the definition of history, is it happens. Like, just shut the fuck up.
No, today happens. It has been happening way the fuck too much these past few years. And it's way too quick a pace, but
yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah,
we have had way too much history in the past few years. Okay, there have been whole fucking centuries that had less shit happen than the last decade.
Well, here's the old adage: is you can either be a paragraph or a chapter, right? We're getting a whole fucking book. Come on, we don't need this much.
Well, there's also just, so much more ways to document shit now, though too, than there.
The context and repetition throughout history here. We don't talk about the fact that in the 70s, there wasn't any gas at the pump because it was everyone's gas tank. And look what happened with Biden in office when they fucked up the oil line, the bill payment system that got hacked. And they had to truck out from the reserve to hit people in the across the South and Midwest. Like that happens. There was a whole crisis that was orders of magnitude worse than that in the 70s. The whole oil crisis. People thought peak oil might happen. They keep saying oil that every other year now.
Wait, that reminds me of something. Oh right, Jimmy Carter fucked everything up.
Yeah. How about that? It's like we had a repeat or something.
What? One also there was the old thing of we were going to have an ice age
Yeah.
You know, if we didn't fix things, and then
that was the 70s.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well,
80s happened.
I thought you were talking about Greta saying 7 years ago, saying that we had 5 years until the world ends.
Or AOC.
We only have
Also.
5 years, 12 years, 18 months to live, to fix things, to live something.
yeah,
She doesn't climate a whole lot anymore. She just has the terrorist.
We should just start calling it global warming again.
I think that would just be. I think that's the biggest global warming. I think Ron Williams had this one correct. The biggest global warming is happening in menopausal women. Like it's just. Such
There's a lot in Washington
risk.
too. You know, a lot of hot air.
Seriously.
I mean, it is a swamp, so
Yeah, they got that bog gas up there.
Yeah, definitely lots of decay. So you know, you'll have.
Well, when did Congress go from being the stadium of moral tyrants in their late 20s, early 30s to being a fucking geriatric home?
I want to say it kind of started in the 70s.
Because I know we've had elderly in Congress kind of since it happened, but like it used to be, there was a lot more young men with big ideas than it was old men with small pensions.
Oh yeah, I mean, you look at the fucking framers, and they're all like in their early 20s.
Which the first time that actually, I've realized that, which is pointed out, it kind of blows the mind because you don't ever read about these people in the context of their birth date or how long their early years actually last.
Like you read about Washington and Benjamin Franklin, Jefferson, all these dudes, and it's like, oh, these are guys in their 30s. It's like, nah, the oldest dude was like in his mid-late 30s, and there was like one of them, or like there was like one guy.
They're all in their mid to late 20s.
It's like there was one guy in his 40s,
Wild.
like 2 or 3 in their 30s, and everybody else is in their early 20s.
That's wild.
yeah, but also like life expectancy was only like
So that is a
that's a bit of a fallacy, actually. It's that the life.
It was a bathtub curve.
It's it's like there's a whole lot that you lost at the very beginning, like lots and lots of babies were lost, but the overall life expectancy was pretty decent.
It was about 65.
Yeah, like 60, 70 wasn't crazy.
If you managed to survive to 12 years old, you could expect to live until at least 60 back then.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
More or less.
that is kind of wild. So, well,
So we had an insane
by how
attrition
many
rate.
children were lost always
So
until the modern era.
It's interesting that people who are abortion activists today would have fit in much better back then because every life was precious, but there was not a great. It was not the insanely good odds we have today that your child would successfully be born and survive being a toddler. Like we take for granted modern medicine in that our children today typically grow up and live. Like back then, it's like a third chance that your kid dies.
Is incredibly low now as well. It's like you expect everything to go fine.
Yeah, you don't go through
Anything
2 or 3
going
women
wrong
having
is
10
weird
kids.
now.
You could go through 2 or 3 women having 10 kids back then and have at the end of your life, 3 or 4 kids and probably 20 grandchildren that are in the process of trying to survive. Like the thing was like you had these kind of intertangles between marriage, not from divorce but from attrition. That was part of that whole aspect of it, and that of course, a lot of the part of history that you have to contend with is, it's not just history written by the winners, but it's also written by the survivors. So the people who are of enough wealth to have that many children and still know who they were. It was still practiced back then that if you had a bunch of kids to either work on your farm and hopefully survive, or to go off to yonder town and work in the factory over there. And by factory at the time wasn't the Industrial Revolution yet. Factory meant basically the processing of materials after the farm. So it wasn't industrial factory, it was like hand sorting a whole bunch of produce kind of shit. or sewing stuff and trying to make handmade clothes for everyone. A lot of the daughters went into that kind of stuff. Totally different world back then.
Yeah, well,
wooden teeth and shit, right?
yeah, well, and then like folks started families like a lot younger too. Like
True, but I would say that that's something with the 40s creeping up on the horizon here for me. Like that's something I would have told younger me to do earlier would be to try to start a family. That's something that like you can do both kind of thing. Like if you get done with your bachelor's, that's the time to start looking to find a family and get it going. If you didn't find your sweetheart in college, then to do it thereafter, because the story changes drastically as you get older.
Yeah, it's I'm kind of in the interesting position where like I'm in my early 30s, and it's really it's really weird how much like online dating has influenced the whole thing, because there are women out there who they will not like even like look at you potentially dating unless you like match with them on like some weird.
Well, they've got the 3-6s, which has always been funny. You need to be 6 feet tall, have a 6-figure income, and 6-inch dick.
Right.
That's the starting place for a lot of women, and I can't fault them on that.
Yeah, you can, but anyway,
you can, but like the other one is is a 6-pack, but that's again a different story. The old wisdom does hold true on this, though. Women are the gatekeepers for sex, but men are the gatekeepers on commitment. And the issue is when you have the mismatch there, you don't have any fucking kids, and we're in the middle of that problem right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the problem is like between online dating and then like I know it's more complicated than this, but the whole
and being crippled.
Well, but then also the whole Me Too thing. Well, I'm not just I'm not including me. I'm not even like talking about me.
I'm just being a smartass.
Well, of course you are. That's your job. Fair enough.
Hold on a second. He gets paid for that shit?
Yes.
Where the fuck's that money, man?
He get well, I'll write an IOU.
Fair enough.
So,
that worked in Dumb and Dumber. I'm sure it'll work here.
Yeah, or people can, I'm gonna have to get the Patreon page like started back up, or maybe
okay.
If you want more to continue being a smartass, pledge today.
Put the dollar in the box.
Yeah, or not Patreon, because I would probably get booted, but whatever.
I guess locals would probably be good.
Locals, I have a locals page, but but since Rumble bought them out, it's
oh, okay.
It's kind of weird.
When did that happen?
So, I guess it's kind of started by the same company. Not sure. But as Dwight was saying about dating, it seems like between like the Me Too thing that happened like 10 years ago, and kind of that whole thing of women just aren't interested in dating, and then the whole dating app thing, men are kind of a lot of guys my age and even younger are like, we're good, because like if we go and even go flirting with anyone, we're told we're creepy and we're
Well, my favorite is, what's the worst that can happen? She'll say no.
That was like 15 years ago. Now she's gonna put you on blast on the internet.
Yeah.
Now it's you start up a fucking vlog as you're in the car with them. This piece of shit just turned me down. I can't believe it. Where's my chalupa?
This piece of shit thinks going to the Cheesecake Factory is an appropriate first date.
My favorite one is so you guys, I got this one guy who, in my DMs, who is paying for my my nails, and then another one that is taking me out for dinner, and then another one that is paying for all my streaming services. And it's like,
oh, you're a prostitute. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. And then...
Yeah, we had words for those in the past.
And
Four comes to mind. Slut for money.
And she'll probably have an OF too.
Yeah, I mean... And I mean, I don't know how like real this is, or if it's just exaggerated. But I guess there's now like a certain percentage of young women who like they want to aspire to be like OnlyFans creators without
It gets them all the attention that their dad couldn't give them.
Well, yeah. Well, without really even understanding what OnlyFans is.
A stranger's paycheck very nicely fills a dad-shaped hole in their heart.
Well, the funny thing is, it actually doesn't. But they say
correct.
Correct. It doesn't at all. It actually makes the hole even bigger. Funny enough,
it kind of does. It's like taking a knife.
Don't get naked on the internet for money, guys.
Well, funny thing is some of them won't. Just the fact that they have. Some of them won't.
There's a mental aspiration to have that.
Just the fact that like some of them will post and
you see, they're going to beat the odds. They're going to get above the average of $80 a month.
Yeah.
All right. What was it? The median is like between 80 and $100.
Yep.
That's insane. The average was like 200 something. That one's brought up by all the top creators. That was it. The mean is like in the 200s.
Showing your holes for $200 is totally worth it, guys.
Look, I got lunch money for the week. Winning.
Well, inflation is a bitch too. So.
Yeah, thanks, Biden.
So.
People keep talking about waiting for the prices to come down. If they've been paying attention, that's not how inflation works. Rarely is it negative. What you need instead is to see your income go up. Because that's the only way you can respond to inflation, is to demand more income to give you the commensurate value in your bank versus the number of dollar units. If your inflation-adjusted income stays the same, then your life didn't change a whole lot. You just have a finer division of the monetary units. But if they're paying you the same rate and everything costs more, then yeah, it sucks ass. And so that's the follow-up response, is that businesses go into a slump when all the people that are working for them go, hey, my money isn't worth shit anymore. I need more of it, please.
Yeah, well, and so that ties back into the whole AI, I guess, fear bubble that's out there. But like anything else, I kind of feel like AI is going to be one of those things that, like, there are going to be jobs where people learn to use.
So I explained this to someone recently. During the gold rush, what was the better job to have? The miners or the pickaxe salesman?
Pickaxe salesman.
If the AI thing, you want to be the guy selling the pickaxe. You don't want to be the guy coming to the AI company to ask them what to use.
I think that conversation either happened on here or the Fake Untitled Podcast because I distinctly remember you talking about that, Greg.
I did, yeah. And it's something to keep in mind. Like, you don't have to work at an AI company to be able to develop an application that might somehow require AI to use or what have you, but that brings in a novel aspect that you then can benefit from. So creating the tools for other people to use so you can sell the tool to them is kind of the basis of entrepreneurship in this country.
Yeah.
And there's a whole meta to that as well, but AI tools are a thing, and it's better to be the guy who understands how the AI works and who can make the tools and not just use the AI to do your day-to-day tasks than it is to be the guy who just comes to the AI company and says, "Hey, can I buy your service to replace my employees?" So in that sense, there's a market shift to take advantage of there. It's not just learn to code for all the coal miners. Although, one can hope with the follow-up that came from that some journalists will finally fucking learn to code.
Well, and I mean now with vibe coding, it's really easy. It's really
prompt, asshole.
But, yeah, kind of beat me to it on that one.
Yeah.
I love the title prompt engineer. You're just an anal retentive weeb in front of a computer figuring out what prompt is going to give you the best vibe code. And you don't even have the capacity to judge whether or not the code is good. Miss me with that shit. Just say that you haven't done well enough to be of use yet. You're a prompt engineer, which means you can ask a really good question, and then you need to ask somebody else to tell you whether or not the answer was good.
You say that, Craig, but like
I am being facetious and condescending on purpose here, but still, like there's a kernel of truth there.
Oh yeah, there totally is, and you say that, but then it's like I do see some of these quote unquote journalists out there who you look at what they're writing and never mind the ridiculous content they're writing up, but like
a
some
suspicious number of M dashes.
Yeah, or the fact that like some of them can't even seem to bother to like run through basic spell check or something. Although I guess Grammarly is what everyone uses now, but like they
I
can't
just use my own education.
Yeah.
Growing up when people gave a damn about you knowing whether or not you could spell out a word correctly, or you could structure a sentence. Take a thought and turn it into something you can communicate.
Yeah, that.
Small details, right?
Yeah.
You look at the trajectory of society right now. Take the auto translate on X as another example of the same, and you can start to imagine how the Tower of Babel happened.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. That was a marvel of, as a parable, a marvel of failures on a societal level.
The auto translate can be
pretty cool how that brought Japan and the United States even closer together. Like a bunch of conservatives, a bunch of American conservatives realized like most of Japan is by American standards pretty conservative. Like, oh yeah, we love these guys.
Yeah.
It turns out you can bomb people into a friendship. I think that was the coolest thing to come out of the war was Japan rising up on its. I mean, admittedly, we also got the otaku thing out of that, which, call it what you will, weebs or weebs. Yeah, we got the weird anime troons out of it, but beyond that social contagious catastrophe, we got a lot of good shit out of Japan and as a partner nation.
Well, truding wasn't that's not like exclusively Japanese though, is it?
No. But I'm just saying the fusion with anime. That was the reason I brought that.
Oh yeah.
The incredibly autistic side of the otaku area, where you have the multicolored hair true crowd coming in saying they're Goku while standing up and peeing in the women's bathroom.
Yeah, well, that. Well, that's just like that's just like a weaponized form of autism or something.
Sorry, that's a little funny.
Well, and also like I can't remember Max actually on his channel. He actually did a video on this
Yeah.
on this weirdo that you might remember, Craig. He went by the Daimyo. He was
I remember him.
Yeah, he was one of the guys who was trying to like get in
You're a
with.
fucking idiot.
Yeah. Well, his whole thing was like trying to LARP as like a samurai, but like also.
But without putting any effort into it. It was very funny.
Well, yeah.
The guy's sitting there shirtless, doing his fucking shit video inside of his bedroom.
Yeah, and then Max exposed him as like the most like Mormon like normal dude ever.
He's a normie dork, LARPing as a samurai in his bedroom without his shirt on.
Yeah, and I feel like that's where a lot of these trannies.
Yeah, Maxine, that guy.
Yeah, that's where like a lot of the trannies. Maybe not all of them, but I feel like that's what a lot of them actually are. They're like
I mean, so I'll say this: the majority, the silent majority of that crowd, are just trying to get on with their life. Like, this is the fucked up thing in their life, and the rest of their life is fairly mundane and normal, and they just try to do normal stuff. And then you have the loud minority who's very visible and very violent and very fucking annoying. I feel terrible for those, for the more normal among the crowd. You know, as normal as they can be. The more normal among the crowd it must suck so much to have that kind of dysphoria in your life. Like it must be objectively, tragically horrifying. Have to deal with that shit day in and day out. You know, every time you look in the mirror, you know, just like cleaning up after taking a shower, or you know, brushing your teeth before you go to bed. You know, every time you see a reflective surface having that thought go on, that's got to be bad. And then you have the people who are autogynephilic, which is just disturbing. Like, it's just they want public participation in their private fetish. It's like, guys, this is what we meant about the slippery slope, and don't fuck each other on our lawn. Like, that was the whole premise of you know, gay rights in the first place, was, you know, we're not trying to groom your children, until the gay orchestra in San Francisco said, we're coming for your children.
Yeah.
So, like, there's layers to this. There are legitimately conservative, Republican, trans people who just want to live an otherwise normal life, and you know, they're not even looking for marriage or bathroom rights or any other shit. They just don't want to be persecuted. It's like, I get that part. Do your thing in your house. I don't care at that point. But like, you know, stay away from my kids all the same.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying they don't exist, and maybe I worded this poorly, but
that's what the implication.
But it seems to me that like even a lot of the LARPers that do this are just like, that's why they're doing it. It's a lot of them. I'm not saying that they're faking it per se, but a lot of them are being obnoxious.
A lot of them do it for attention. Like, there's a social contagion aspect to it.
Well, yeah,
absolutely.
Well, yeah, that's that.
For some people, sadly, because they don't have a major tragedy or war or thing to fight for in their life, that becomes the most interesting thing about them, is just how much lint is in their navel. And it's so like that is a different kind of sad, and that's where was it my niece or nephew came to me and said, like, or I asked them how they were doing. They said, I'm bored, and I said, you're not allowed to be bored. You have an imagination. Like this is was it idle hands are the devil's weapons or whatever, or the devil's tools. It's the same notion that if you're bored and you are looking for something to do, and you're suggestible, and you're in the presence of some retard who thinks that this is going to solve their problems by making my problems also their problems.
Yeah.
That's the social contagion aspect, which is really sad. And if you look at the rate of autism among trans people, the coincident comorbidity there is so glaring. Like that, this is a population that is being preyed upon.
Well,
which is disgusting in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially you guys.
They should be making like goofy dance videos or something. That's the whole TikTok trends thing. Or they should be. The people should be outside. Playing with lawn darts until it goes from fun to hilarious.
Yeah. Well, and that's the whole thing with social media though, and especially YouTube, too. I've noticed is you can get like a lot of clout for this like obnoxious attention.
Johnny Somali
now. So
well, hopefully the trend goes in the same direction. Mentioning Johnny Somali.
Yes, into jail for many years.
Yes, please.
Yep.
Nuisance streamers. There's only a handful of them that are of any merit, and only in a handful of situations. The example is Asian Andy and Squatter.
I was literally about to say that, yeah.
And that's the reason you were, because there's only one fucking example. Everyone else is just annoying. Go home. Stop it.
Go home, piss off.
Exactly.
Well, and then I'm seeing.
And for the love of God, don't have your record in backstage areas.
Have your text-to-voice chat messages saying Hitler was right. Go off inside your own home. Leave everyone else alone.
To be fair, sometimes those can be pretty funny, depending on who's streaming.
Like there's a handful of people that are able to do it successfully without being so fucking annoying you hope the cops punch their teeth in.
Well, I can give you another example of a streamer who can kind of do that. I mean, he's not annoying to the viewers of the stream, just everyone that he interacts with in reality. That being Only Use Me Blade, if you're at all familiar.
I am somewhat familiar. And I'm also, unfortunately, familiar with some of his issues because of Jim. I was aware of him before that, vaguely, and then Jim described...
Didn't Blade lose a toe?
Yep.
Jim described someone sodomizing one of his leg holes. That was an interesting stream.
That's not the same guy he had on that he was covering this past weekend.
No,
just like a diaper fetishist.
No.
That's no, the diaper maxer is a very different guy.
No, I think it was the one before that he actually covered him.
It was that or the one before that. It was
within the last three of his broadcasts.
Yeah. Yeah, but Blade's been around for a while, a long time, and he
once upon a time, it was actually like a noteworthy, like Call of Duty guy. But
he used to be a gamer. He used to be a fun gamer, and he'd be a little bit eccentric and like trash talking people. Then it turns out that's how he treats his parents, or his mother rather.
Yeah,
being an alcoholic doesn't help.
No, being a diabetic alcoholic.
Yeah, that also makes it even
bad a combination, man.
Yeah,
terrible combination.
Yeah, you can.
That's why he has all the leg entries.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can count on your toes the number of times that goes well.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, funny thing. A number of times it goes well keeps getting lower. Yeah,
and then I guess the diabetes wasn't and alcoholism wasn't a bad enough combination. He had to become a fan of the alcohols that cover both. You know, the liqueurs like Jägermeister. Like, how do we screw this up with one shot? I want to be efficient about killing myself off in two different ways.
Hey, if you're going to drink sugar water, you might as well drink the sugariest water, right?
Pretty much.
Let's see.
Well, we are past pumpkin hour here.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, how about this? How about a shot from the Fake Untitled Podcast? How about we send Craig off with some good news? So
Yeah.
you remember the white guy that was getting jumped by like 3 or 4 black guys in, I think it was Birmingham.
Yeah, the guy who got slammed into the
yeah.
storefront by
Charges
a
are
woman.
dropped.
Good. Now, what about the charges on the cop who hit him?
Oh, I thought you were about to ask about the charges on the people that weren't charged because they still haven't.
No. Not just the short piece of shit who slammed him into the building.
No.
What about the tall guy who crammed him into the car in the wrong fucking direction?
Oh yeah, none of that. And the attackers
Yeah,
haven't been
unfortunate.
detained or charged or anything else. But hey,
That's-
small victories, we'll take it. After all, this is coming from the People's Caliphate of Brit-Bongistan. So
Fair enough.
you take what you can get.
I mean, once we get Alberta to fulfill the destiny set forth in film as the 51st state, oh Canada, Canadian bacon. Once we get that one in, we should lock in for 52 and set our sights across the pond. Because not only are we going to get Greenland, we should also get England. I think that's fair. I think a reunification is in order.
Now see that would be a military operation I could get by. But I could get like fully.
I think specifically so that we could cut France off from Quebec, who they don't want any part of. I think that we should get in between the two, have a good little parlay, and then move Quebec to Calais to get rid of the jungle, which, if you know, is that encampment of Africans who try to get their way into England through the tunnel. I think if we could move Quebec to Calais and then move the jungle from Calais back to Africa, where they all escaped from their harrowing ordeal that they take vacations to go back to. Maybe we could finally get Canadians to stop being so fucking annoying in the Toronto area. As I am convinced that it is the fact that they are still influenced by people that are so French, the French kicked them out.
Well, I mean, most Canadians are nice, minus the French Canadians. So
the only thing the Quebecois have going for them is that they don't eat snails nearly as often as the Parisians.
Isn't Quebecois where like all the migrants in Canada have?
Quebecois is just the it's like saying Canadian. If you're a citizen of Quebec, instead of saying like they're French in France, the Quebecois in Quebec.
Oh yeah, so isn't Quebec where like a bunch of migrants have been headed to?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's like all of Canada except for Alberta.
All of Canada except for basically the backwoods.
The Northern Territories and then good chunks of Alberta where they just don't put up with that shit.
Yeah, basically anywhere where there's a city or white people, that's where they go. That's where you put the immigrants.
I gotta say, I'm happy that Canada has its own Texas, that we have a snow Texas to the north, and that we're going to acquire it soon enough.
Yeah, they are going to make a great ally. I think that they'll make a nice little independent nation, or who knows? They could be a really excellent territory.
So what I heard so far from the negotiations they've had is that we are going to be willing to finance them to the tune of, it was either like $500 million or $500 billion. And unfortunately that's quite a big range to fuck up in, but it was 500 something million, so it's under 500. I don't think it's 500 million. I imagine it's closer to. I imagine it's in the billions. Whatever the case is, the United States has already kind of settled on informally that we're willing to finance their government establishment, and that can only mean that we're going to have a high interest in having them formally declare as a state. If we're going to put that investment in, either that or we're going to use them as leverage to force the rest of Canada to become a state. But either way, like we're going to, that's the sore spot on the arm, and as the older brother, we're going to have to punch them hard there repeatedly because they keep fucking up. And even was it Bill Maher recently? He had his little bit where he went on about, the Canadians say they're better than us. Let's review what happened from Trudeau, through to present, and just of the top 15 or 20, like some metric for worst, like violent city or criminal or most crime, like 14 out of 15 were in Canada, or 14 out of 20, whatever it was. Like that's bad. Like they're giving our continent a bad look, man. We need to bring the power washer and clean them up.
Well, that's what happens when you let the Canadians, be too nice to be.
They stop being nice. The motherfuckers don't even apologize for their bullshit anymore. They have a whole generation of assholes. Yeah, it's probably because they imported them.
Well, you don't like the smoke? Fuck you.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like, what I liked was the guy saying, the next time Americans have a fire, we're not going to send anyone. It's like, one, yes, you are, because we pay, whereas you don't. And that's an asshole move. Two, you wouldn't even be in the service to come down here in the first place, dickhead. You're just some pissant who's firing off from his cozy chair in his home. But I can respect if a Canadian fireman would say, "Hey, a little respect, please. This is kind of ridiculous." But when it's just some fat asshole in Toronto spouting off about, "Oh, poor Americans having to deal with their smoke for once, boo-hoo." It's like, you know what, man? I hope your building never catches fire. Because we will be there to save your ass. And we're going to look at you and say, "Told you so." And by we, I mean, of course, I'm not going to be the one doing it, because fuck that guy.
Well, Canada has to get their fires under control. That's for sure.
Anywho, we were doing good news.
So,
no, all the charges dropped on the guy. Fantastic.
Huh.
Yeah,
it's what you hope for.
Yeah, well, and like I said, the Tate brothers are hopefully headed to jail. So, and then I was reading just a little while ago that I guess any remaining denials to try and deny the Charlie Kirk shooter.
Oh.
Those have been, I guess, thrown out. So he is going to stand trial now, I guess, from what I hear.
Good. Yeah, the evidentiary hearings that happened already were pretty damn illuminating.
Yeah.
And just the fact basis that is established by that. And there are people that were, what the hell is his name? There's a guy on X who's usually pretty intelligent, kind of dropped the ball on this one. He's not like a Candace guy. In fact, he usually makes fun of her. But he got a bunch of backlash for saying, basically the equivalent of let the hearing play out. We don't know if this guy is guilty or not. It's like, look, man. This guy clearly did not watch or hear. I didn't even watch the fucking pre-trial hearings. The evidentiary, the part where they're deciding what evidence can be allowed and what evidence can't be allowed. I didn't even watch those hearings, but I got the Cliff's Notes version of it by, perusing different commentaries on it. And then I did see a couple of summaries of it that had what kind of evidence was presented as being established for the fact basis and what was ancillary. And the fact pattern is kind of blatant. It's like watching a guy walk into the room and shoot a guy right in front of you, and then saying, yeah, but he's got to be tried in court first. Like, you can't actually know if this guy did it. Like, motherfucker, you watched the guy shoot him. Everyone else in the room, the whole crowd, saw it happen too. It's recorded on video in multiple different locations and in high definition. Like, it's you know, and the guy put the gun down, left the fucking casing in the chamber because he didn't pull back the bolt. Has his intent written on the bullets, said to the police, I did it, after his family said he did it. His fingerprints are on the fucking thing, told his significant other, I did it. Then said, oh, I shouldn't have said that, how do I delete this? Like, just, come on. Come on. Once you see, like, that level of detail of, this guy fucking did it, yeah, let the trial play out, but don't pretend he didn't do it until it's over. Like, the guy is innocent until proven guilty, but the fact is, he's already made himself guilty. And yeah, it's a huge pain in the ass because you can't spoil a jury on this stuff. Like, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
But the facts are the facts. Like, and the facts say he did it.
Yeah, and so from what I'm reading here on X, basically, his attorneys tried to like further deny, some of the stuff based on tainted public opinion, but the judge said no.
I see. He couldn't have picked the worst place to shoot him. You're not gonna find like a San Francisco circuit judge hanging out in the middle of Utah. Like, it's that is, if you wanted to have some weaselly way out of your trial, like having the evidence presented and having the fact that he, killed him on display for the public to look at, good fucking luck. Like, the whole entire show that he wants to put on for that, whatever this lawyer is going to have to wait for an appeals court, and it's still going to get struck down as being a bunch of bullshit. Like, he clearly did it. We can quibble over, and I think it'd be retarded to go that route. We can quibble over whether it goes from third degree with manslaughter up to premeditated first degree, which is what it clearly fucking was. Like, this is one of those open and shut cases. And I'm glad that they've taken so much time to go through and, dot all the I's, cross all the T's on pincering this guy with the evidence that is readily available. I mean, it sucks for Erica Kirk, but the fact that they have such a meticulously cataloged record of this guy's guilt is a good thing. And otherwise, it would have had to happen like with appeals, and you can't double jeopardy this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, the fact that in some cases the defense is now like citing the Candace Owens conspiracies, that's hilarious too.
Like, the thing I want to see is like to the same degree as the stabbing. What's his name? Stabbing the kid at the track meet. Like, I want to see it to the same degree there, where they had 20 odd witnesses they were going to call in, and they stopped after like 7 because it was clearly not going to fucking work. When their own witnesses were saying, "Yeah, he did it." It's like, did you see him stab him? Yep. That's all, Your Honor. Damn, I was certain they were going to say no. Like, come on. So, like, I know it sucks for Erica Kirk to have to endure this bullshit, and then it's become a bit of a farce because of the Candace crowd. But I'm glad that they have saved up so much uppance to come here.
Yeah, well, and then
The mountain of crow they're going to have to chew over this one is so wild.
Well, and then, depending on what happens, Candace could be looking at a defamation lawsuit.
Oh, dude.
And
the stack of lawsuits Erica is going to have to file. Like I think it's out of. I think it shouldn't matter what her. At this point, I think it shouldn't matter what her degree of being tired is. Like, being done with this shit. There is a point of principle for her to land on. She needs to stick the landing and just file the lawsuits and go through the motions and be petty about it. These people have been fucking with her. To be crude, the crowd of people who hate her and everything she stands for have been metaphorically fucking her husband's corpse in the neck hole.
Yeah.
It is that disgusting, and that is the language that they are using to describe his death.
Well,
I think going after these people is the least she can do for herself and her kids, let alone everyone else getting the Schadenfreude out of it. Like, this needs to happen.
And they're making money out of it, and they're making like bucket loads of money off of it.
Yeah,
so
when I found out how many people were listening to Candace, it blew my mind. I understand seeing the circus, but that we're credulously believing the bullshit she was saying. when you show up and you say, "It came to me in a dream," if you're not joking, holy crap.
Yeah, I mean, I knew. I went to college with someone who they got good grades and they had some sort of like athletic, scholarship, but for whatever reason, you would think they would be too smart to think, so dumbly, but apparently their critical thinking isn't that great. So,
well, let me give you some insight on that. One of the great pitfalls that comes with intelligence is the capacity to rationalize truly stupid shit.
Oh yeah.
So, I guess wait for them to figure it the fuck out. But yeah, it's you can rationalize truly bad ideas. It's incredulously so. You can get someone to believe you can get yourself to believe really stupid shit through complex rationalization, and that's just part of the territory.
Yeah, so, one. I mean, admittedly, as sick as it seems, like this is entertainment for for people too. So
it's televangelist bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, she's got the golden airplane at the end of the day, and the rest in the congregation doesn't even get a megachurch out of this one.
Indeed.
So that's which is a bit sad.
But yeah, hopefully those lawsuits come down. So that would be pretty good news if that were to happen. But anyway, anything you guys want to cover?
Myself in bed.
Fair enough.
Go ahead and jump out while I can here.
Friday night.
Thanks for going on, Craig. So.
Yep. Thank you for having me as always. Glad to be here.
So.
The same as well. I'm much obliged for the invite.
Yeah. Any final stores or anything you want to promote?
Not from me just yet, but there is something cool that somebody made with Claude that I will, let's see here. What's the easiest way to put this out for everybody? I'll put it in the Discord thing you made here and just put it in your show links below. It's a thing called Entrain, and it's Are you familiar with binaural beats?
Yeah.
So it's a binaural beats system that you work out to just what you need so that you can really train your mind to focus on very specific things and maybe accomplish very interesting things.
Oh yeah, I've seen ads. I've seen ads about that. So that is
Somebody just did something cool. So there you go. That's neat. Aside from
yeah.
that, I will have something cool to talk about soon, but copyright, you know.
Yeah, no, I got that. And then the well, one thing I will be curious to know about that is you know, you've talked about this a little bit on your show, but you have used AI, for some of the stuff you're working on. So I am very curious.
Grok is my research assistant. I won't lie.
Yeah, so in regards to, copyright, in regards to all that, like how much has Grok like affected that
honestly, I'd say none at all because it's all my work. Grok's just my assistant. Grok does the math. Grok does the it's like perfect example. I've needed census numbers from the early 1800s, and that's just a son of a bitch to get. And I can just say, Grok, get me the census numbers for this city, this city, this city, and this city, and run it between 1800 and 1830. And I just get a list. And I don't have to spend the next 7 hours finding it.
Right, yeah.
Or, okay, that's great, thanks. Now, I need the mean and median incomes of the people in this demographic, and this demographic. And that shit would take me another 16 hours. So, yeah, no, having a research assistant is, it's a godsend. It's like I can just write. I can just create.
Yeah. Yeah, that is, and I think, yeah, essentially you just kind of laid out the same case I've laid.
Now, there's other people that are like, well, I'm going to need a little bit of art here and there. And, well, that's when you start getting into the chintzy shit. I wouldn't advise it.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing with AI art is like I've used AI art for some stuff. I think if you can afford to pay up for it, you should. But like,
honestly, it has been my experience that people would prefer that you put out shitty handmade art than AI art. That said, find yourself an artist that doesn't mind AI because you can do great concepting.
Right.
Okay? So you could be like, I want something that's kind of like this. And then you give it to your artist. It's like, okay, look, obviously this isn't quite right. He's got 17 fingers. So we're not doing that. But, beyond the 17 fingers, you get the vibe of the image I'm going for, as opposed to say, all right, describe a scene.
Yeah. Well, and then even someone like me, like I can kind of like visually tweak like some of those AI images myself with like, software. I just can't, so I can iron out like specifics. I just can't draw, for shit beyond like stick figures and whatnot. So,
well, that's fair.
But yeah, so yeah, when you're ready, I would love to talk to you more about that. And then obviously you've got the Fake Untitled Podcast.
Yep. Last episode just went up last night.
Everywhere.
And the video version's up everywhere now.
Nice.
Yeah. And there's, and do you guys actually have like a set schedule for that usually, or is it just whenever you guys can?
We try to record Saturdays or Sundays, but things have been crazy busy. And where I work, we lost a guy. So I had to do a bunch of closing. So we record when we can record. That said, it's without fail, it will be up by Wednesday night if it's going to be up in a given week.
One thing I wanted to ask you about before kind of the end. What is up with Odyssey? I heard something.
We don't know yet. I can tell you the situation as of right now is Tom Zerbiskin and Julian are out. They're going some kind of different direction, apparently not a greatly different direction, but different enough that the founding folks are not sticking around. I don't have more to tell you on that for now. However, I do have an interview lined up with Julian and with Tom once they get their next project rolling. So I imagine they're going to probably want to just let this thing do what it's going to do and not talk so much about it, but I'm going to try and dig a little something out of them when I get them.
Very cool. So, all right. Well, thanks for coming on, man, and appreciate you. So,
yeah, absolutely.
And then more Bits and Bones.
Yep,
Friday.
Bits and Bones Friday night, 10 p.m. Sorry about last week. I just had medical stuff going on, and then it just fell apart on me. But 100%, we have an episode on Friday.
Any interesting topics you've got planned out, or just kind of wait and see?
Pretty much a wait and see. But people are starting to, and companies are starting to announce things for Gamescom in August. So we're going to go a little bit over that and talk about a little more of things that I'm excited for in the next couple of months.
Yeah, and I saw some stuff about like PlayStation jailbreaking, so
yep.
I'll bring up some stuff about that. But yeah, so also you can go and pick up my books on Amazon. As always, I'll include links to that. So appreciate everyone for tuning in, and like I said, Max is no longer here, but we appreciate. I appreciate Mort and Evan and Craig for stepping in, and anyone else who's kind of willing to join in as a guest panelist. So we were
available. All you got to do is say the word. I'm happy to show up.
Yeah. Appreciate you, buddy.
Well, really appreciate it, and like I said, on behalf of everyone, really appreciate the kind. Comments that people left on the last stream and that everyone DM'd us. And, for the people who weren't so charitable, I guess Max would have just chuckled and laughed at some of those people. So, but anyway, we'll be back next week. If not Monday, definitely Wednesday. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we'll talk down the road.
The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Thank you for watching the Whitfield Report live on the Right to Offend Media Network. Make sure to check out Sam's books on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. You can follow Sam on X at SamW_NGC and the Right to Offend Media Network at RTO Media. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. And until next time, God bless. God save this great nation. God, freedom, legacy. In